1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to represent the majority. The majority of Americans who actually pay their bills. The majority of Americans who actually believe that if they have a right, they actually have a responsibility. Unfortunately, President Biden just announced that by the stroke of his pen, he is going to forgive $39 billion in student loans this morning. Now, let me be clear. This is in direct violation of the Supreme Court's decision just 2 weeks ago that blocked his student loan forgiveness plan. But I guess the president has no respect for the constitutional authority of the Supreme Court. And apparently, he has no respect for hardworking taxpayers that are going to foot this bill. Because education isn't free, someone pays for it. Last I checked, the students or the teachers don't work for free. It's you, the taxpayer, who actually paid your student loans that are now going to pay for somebody who doesn't want to pay their student loans. Because every American that has paid off their student loans now gets the opportunity to pay somebody else's. What comes next, Mr. President? Are you going to forgive mortgages and credit card bills? Where does this forgiveness end? Rest assured, come hell or high water, I will fight this till the end. Thank you, and I yield back.
Members are reminded that to direct their comments towards the chair. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from New York seek recognition?
Uh-oh, friends. This may ruin everything. Many are now growing worried about government spending as a deadline to prevent a shutdown nears. Lawmakers in Congress are now discussing what they want to cut and what they want to stay in the next spending bill. This may affect millions of Americans. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video for the latest news in Congress. Also, in a video later today, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. A brewing battle over how to fund the federal government is poised to escalate this week when Congress returns from a 2-week recess. The House Republican majority is on a collision course with the Senate as appropriators in both chambers advance conflicting versions of a sweeping package. The legislation must become law by September 30th to prevent a government shutdown. Unlike the House, Senate leaders have moved on a bipartisan path, and key senators say they intend to reassert themselves after taking a back seat in the recent debt ceiling negotiations. Yet divisions over several issues have further complicated work on the must-pass bill, with a month-long August recess giving Congress limited time to hammer it out. Seeking to appease conservative members who are upset about the budget agreement in the debt ceiling deal, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and House Appropriations Chair Kay Granger have announced they will pass funding at lower levels than established in the recent law. Democrats have blasted that as a breach of the agreement. Senate Democrat Chris Van Hollen has said, "What Speaker McCarthy is doing is increasing the risks of a government shutdown." Top House Republicans who voted a series of appropriation bills out of a committee before July 4th recess say they want to redefine how spending agreements are perceived. Kay Granger called the debt ceiling budget agreement a ceiling, not a floor, for the next round of government funding. According to Yahoo News, Republican Representative Chip Roy said, "House conservatives are trying to right the perceived wrongs of the debt limit battle, including funding levels they believe were too high." It remains to be seen how firmly McCarthy will insist on lower spending levels and conservative policy add-ons. Some in the House GOP see it as a first bite at the apple before negotiations with the Senate begin in earnest. Looming over Kevin McCarthy is the need to keep his thin majority unified in order to protect his speakership, with ultra-conservatives tending to drive the hardest bargain. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts on these recent discussions? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. Much of the data surrounding this year's housing market points towards a big recovery period. But while signs are pointing upward, there are plenty of reasons why economists remain very cautious of these developments. In the face of a looming recession, a potential 11th consecutive rate hike, and steady inflation, it may be too soon to call a housing market recovery. However, talks of a housing market crash have dampened by key points that suggest that the housing market is on its way up. Average 30-year mortgage rates have declined slightly from their peak of 7.08% in October of 2022, despite Fed rates increasing. Mortgage rates are also beginning to level out at 6.81%. U.S. Census Bureau data indicated that the number of home sales has increased month over month from 625,000 in February to 763,000 in May. There are still other factors that could challenge a budding recovery. Demand for homeownership remains strong, with a recent housing survey from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York reporting about 70% of renters would prefer owning a home. However, the housing supply is still struggling to meet those demands. Slash rates on mortgages and refinances during Fed rate cuts throughout the crisis left many homeowners unwilling to sacrifice 2% to 4% rates to accept a near 7% or higher mortgage rate on a new home. So to combat the lack of inventory, many potential homebuyers are stretching their budgets to pursue new constructions instead. During an interview with MarketWatch, Redfin's deputy chief economist, Taylor Marr, suggested there's still a lot of economic uncertainty ahead, deterring the announcement of a true recovery. Marr stated, if the economy really takes a turn 3 or 4 months from now, for whatever reason, it could certainly bring the housing market back lower than it was even last November. Dear friends, how is the housing market in your city or state? Please let me know in the comments section below. Well, my beautiful and amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Friday morning. Thank you, my friends, for joining me here every day and for being part of this community. I will be announcing several winners in a video later today for the Walmart gift card giveaway. Make sure you enter the giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My dearest friends, the more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you, and have a wonderful and very blessed Friday.